We're going live with...
There we are.
We're going live with... We're going live with Ryan Harvey and Matt Skanicki in 5 minutes for the VFX for Filmmakers LiveStream. Stand by for transmission.
Testing, testing, testing.
Doesn't look like mic's on.
It's because I don't have yours listed here. Hey. Go ahead, Jack. Try
Check
to
1,
talk.
2, 3, 4. Hello.
Tap your mic. Let's see. You're probably echoing, so I might have to change the
We're
decibel.
going live with Ryan Harvey and Matt Skanicki in 5 minutes for the VFX for Filmmakers LiveStream. Stand by for transmission.
Maybe not.
Maybe I'll be silent.
There we go. Keep that off.
Testing, testing, testing.
Oh, that's our. That's a delay. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, everybody. We are here. We are here at the stream. Sorry for the delay. We are still trying to figure this crap out. YouTube sucks. It's got some issues getting license or streaming keys to work correctly. So I don't know what's going on, to be honest. But welcome, Jack London. Jack has a microphone on. He might be echoing, so we might adjust that a little later. I don't know, honestly.
Hello, everybody.
Can I, let me see if I can listen in here. Go ahead and talk.
Hello,
Jack.
everybody.
Oh, it's not working.
No,
Is this even plugged in?
I don't know.
It is plugged in. Huh. Okay. Whatever. We're good. Just ignore Jack's echo. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's go ahead and see if we got some chit chats on the. What the heck? It went away. Did you see that, Jack?
Yes.
Oh, maybe it's got to be. Maybe we have to have it. Oh, there it is. What the heck? hold up, folks. We're gonna figure this. We're gonna figure this out. Dang it! I can't even see my. Where's my? What the heck happened to my mouse? You see that, dude?
Uh-huh.
What kind of garbage is this? This is weird, dude. The mouse has disappeared. And what if I...
It's because I don't have yours listed here.
Okay, so if I bring that down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and... Also, that's what happened. This has to be... Oh, man, this is so weird. Okay, so this has to be physically up. Okay. And there we go. How dumb is that? That's got to be physically up. Okay. There we go. There we go. Evan James Farrow.
Hey, Evan.
Okay. We got one person watching. Going to sleep. I will watch it tomorrow. All right, so I'm gonna try to organize this so we don't have this issue. This is so like stupid.
Frustrating.
Frustrating beyond belief. Yeah.
We are frustrated.
Let's see. There we go. We are frustrated.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we're quoting the Matrix. I guess you guys are wondering. Just moving things around. Moving right along. Okay, so can someone please text something so we know that this is working? Chit chat. What time is it in your country? It is 7:35 out here. So
PM.
yeah. And we have 3 people watching. So welcome all 3 to the show. It says hi to Anchor. And we're going to be doing some cool stuff today. We want to show you my new. We're going to show a commercial that me and Evan worked on. We're not going to get into the Nuke script or nothing like that. We are going to be rocking and rolling with, it's actually broadcasting on social media and television, and it's for Waterloo, which is a water sparkling. If you go to a fancy schmancy place to get your food, like Fresh Thyme here in Indiana, or Whole Foods in, say, Chicago or wherever you're at, there's a really very good tasting, in my opinion, sparkling water that kind of holds the taste, but with zero sugar and all that stuff. Probably all these type of poisonous natural flavors, but anyway. But can you guys hear Jack? Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Evan, how's the
Can you hear me?
goodies? How's Jack sound? Does he sound too?
Am I the silent head floating in the background?
Yeah. We are not going to stream that long tonight. We're going to have some really cool stuff to show you as we ourselves have to get back to work.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of work to do. We've got a bit of a rush right now, so we're kind of very, 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 very busy working on some stuff. Yeah, he sounds good enough. So no echo, Anchor. Nope, guess not.
Good enough.
Gotcha. All right, folks. So we're going to go ahead and move forward here and talk. We're going to do a couple Nuke presentations. And before we do that, we're going to go ahead and make fun of Corridor Digital. We're going to jump over to this little video they posted. They actually, in fairness, Corridor Digital has actually presented some really cool stuff recently. They posted a video where they did they were using a drone, an Inspire 3, with a centimeter accuracy, and they were like recreating 405 in LA, like, so that it has 100,000 there. So it's basically like motion capture or motion control for the air, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's not perfect, but they've done some pretty cool stuff in regards to that. So I think what I'm going to do is, you know what, I can't, if I just move this over, maybe I can see your guys' comments here. Yeah, it says, I saw that, a little time of echo, might want to check the one clipped onto him. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. They did. The other thing that kind of, again, we continue to see this absolutely. AI is obvious. AI is dollar signs, right? So you have this, it's like AI orgy, we call it, where everyone's just like, oh my gosh, I love this, I love that, and so forth. And it's just like, it's like, guys, it's not going to take over the world. And then you have opportunists that are trying to make money off AI as much as they possibly can, both in like the video VFX world and all the Instagram, TikTok-y stuff. So you're going to see a lot of people who really don't know visual effects proclaiming this stuff is the tools that will change the world, or guess what, visual effects from now on, you just click buttons. And they just recently did this with this video with, let me go ahead and kind of pull it up here, if I can dig it up. Let's see, make sure I got the right window open. There we go. All right, so here it is, and I'm watching your guys' comments as we kind of watch this. We might get reverb on this, so I don't know. So I'm going to do desktop audio. I'm afraid to see what happens when we hit the play button here. I'm assuming you guys can hear this.
Saved the world.
How is that for you, Scott? You should write a book about it.
The loss was biggest adventure.
So.
All right, guys, you want to see something really messed up? Yes. I might not be working for Corridor much longer. Actually, just take a look at this. So into this program, I provided just footage of an actor, and I said, make this person an alien.
All right.
What does that mean?
And an alien. It made him.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's like composite too. It's nearly perfect.
It does this.
Nearly perfect. All right. So as you can see, I think what they did in this demonstration, I think it was pretty cool what this guy did, was he put together a short, but he was very smart, and it's very, I call it smart but deceptive. He made the characters fatter around the neck, fatter around the head, fat around the body totally, so that it would actually cover up any actor that was skinny, so that you wouldn't notice the fact that the cleanup is horrible in the areas where the actual human actor is actually in the way. So if you make a character fat enough, it'll hide the dude, right, that's being mocapped via the AI, and you'll not have to see these horrible things. And you can proclaim, yes, see, this is it, we're done, no more cleanup done by you guys. I'm not saying that ain't going to come, but it's the reality of just saying, it's kind of a deceptive way of kind of playing things.
I did 0 effects work on this. I clicked a button, I said, make him an alien. An hour later, it spat this out.
It's nuts, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, every step that would go...
Jordan is the only guy at Corridor Digital that actually knows Nuke, I think. I think they hired him on Nuke because everybody was like saying, hey, you guys, stop being so lazy, learn something new, you know. And this guy actually went ahead and stepped, I guess they just hired him or something.
Into actually doing this. I mean, all of it would take an astronomical amount of time. You need to do a ton of prep, asset gathering on set. So you're saying you literally just click a single button, and it does all of it. It might be like 3 buttons. Oh, then I'm not interested. It's 3 buttons. One by one appearing.
You know how many button clicks this took to achieve this effect?
I have an idea. 3.
That's exactly correct.
So jacked up that this exists.
Yeah.
The reason we specifically stopped making videos like this is because the last...
I think the reason why they stopped making videos is they're lazy, honestly. I think when you get to a point where you make enough money, and maybe, I mean, let's face it, they did a lot of videos over the last 10 years or whatever, a crap load of videos, and you just get to a point where you're just like, I'm tired, I'm pooped, let's just sit on a couch, bring in someone from ILM and share some data, you know. And even Ren has said on the show, like, this is just getting old. Like, we can't produce anything new. So what they do is they kind of throw these gimmicky tool sets that kind of come out of nowhere, show them off, and then they can go home to their kids without having to stay late, you know. So I think there's a lot of laziness in there. I mean, if you've established a company, right, it's got 6 million subscribers, 7, 8 million, I don't know how many on the regular channel. Well, then, you know, bring on the new crew just like they did for the Star Wars movies, right? And then just sit back and, you know, sit in the background. But I just think there's a certain level of like laziness in the fact that this channel could be a tool to show how to do things, but it goes for the commercial. Hey, we've got we're going to do the advertisements through YouTube. We're going to kind of do these clickbaity videos with techniques, but we're really going to kind of include the fact that this stuff doesn't really do what it claims to do, but that'll get us views if we have this kind of clickbaity kind of stuff, you know.
Freaking Boston Dynamics videos. We spent weeks just painting out Clint.
It's just a one-click solution to our CG characters. And you know, I have a history of making shorts with CG characters.
So anyway, we got this, you know, this kind of lofty-eyed artist here who, I don't know, I personally think he's a little... So the guy who couldn't even get dressed in the morning here, the owner of the company, he's got his... oh boy, we got commercials here. I should get around this. Kind of tells them to make a short movie, basically. Okay, so as you can see, we got 1,000 commercials here to pay for these guys. So they did this whole video where they captured using the Wonder Studio toolset we talked about last time. Still looking for a single video of Corridor where they actually comp the shadows properly. That double shadowing is a telltale sign of amateur comping. Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's like, you know, and not many people know how to do that, you know, specifically. But you get these kind of like lofty-eyed After Effects guys that are real arrogant, you know, and then this guy kind of bossing everybody around. I don't know. I just think these guys are lazy. They have a huge audience and they just spend their time kind of creating more, you know, jack of all trades, masters of none, you know. And just because, hey, we got to get views, wide angle lenses, whip the camera around. And it's to me, it's like, okay, that's a channel. It makes money. It's entertaining. You know, but don't claim to be VFX artists. Claim to be entertainers. Claim to be enthusiasts. Don't say you're a VFX artist. You know, this is what VFX... It's sort of like somebody kind of representing you, you know, working long hours, working on shows, getting that precision sort of workflow, and they're masquerading as charlatans claiming to be a fellow VFX artist, and it's just not true. You know, I think that kind of thing would only bother somebody that's actually working in the industry. And, you know, in fairness, I do enjoy some of the stuff. They show us technologies in their rare forms, early research that is in rare forms. You know, at Purdue, I get to see the research that's going on. We can even like participate in the research here because we always get emails, you know, across all different disciplines out here. But specifically CGT, we get to, you know, try on haptic feedback suits and see how it feels and get into it. It's great. It's great to see stuff early, the early version of it. But I don't know, Jack. What do you think? I'm rambling.
No, it gets to be a little frustrating, especially when you see what's going on at the university level and the research and stuff. To see people trying to make this work, and they make it look like it's working really well, and then you end up trying it, and you find out there's still just as much work to make it look right. All the actual finessing it takes to get it done, it's still quite intense in a lot of this stuff. But they keep saying make it look easy, and all these people get into it and they find out it's not, and then they get frustrated and leave.
Yeah, that's very true. So anyway, they just go through, and it is kind of interesting to see what this guy did in just a couple days. But obviously the animation is bad, the resolution's horrible, you know, and I don't know. And wonderful commercials. We got 10,000 commercials to pay for their fancy houses and all this.
What is interesting is if they're actually generating the IKs from the video using AI and coming up with workable IK skeletons that are based off of the motion of the real person, which looks like what they're doing. Having done a lot of motion capture, it is going to, as it evolves, it is going to change the industry quite a bit.
One of the things you'll notice in here is like they talk about, oh, we did all this, and Mr. Lofty-Eye will go over this pretty heavy, but you can see how this is a 3D model that they downloaded, right? These were rigged by human beings. These characters had to be designed. It's not, you can't, one day we'll see the 2D diffusion tool sets move into 3D, and yes, we'll say, build us an alien. It'll make a mesh, right? And then the mesh will have a skeleton, a default skeleton of maybe 5 or 6 of them based on height or something. Boom, you got a skeleton. Boom. I'm not denying that's going to happen. But again, it just seems like right now they're really blowing this out of proportion. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you bought these models online. You know what I mean? So again, it's that kind of deceptive kind of garbage to get views that drives me nuts. And it's Blender, LMAO. Yeah, good old Blender. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Blender as long as people admit to the fact that it's not production ready. It's not production ready. It doesn't give proper passes, doesn't give deep passes. It doesn't, you know, there's so many different ways it's not really working correctly, and it's just, you know, it'll get there. It'll get there. But again, I'm not going to, you know, anyway. So you can continue watching this, but I don't think we will. It's just a bunch of nonsense. But again, it's kind of cool. I have to say though, it is kind of cool what they did in regards to this the DJI thing. I would check it out, guys. They did a video on DJI 3. I'm actually promoting these guys. I don't believe it. So anyway,
but then something cool, you know, you do something cool.
Yeah. So anyway, back to chit chat. You can't even light link in Cycles. Oh yeah, all I hear is complaining about Cycles. I really don't know much about it, but again, I work with a bunch of people that love Blender and they're getting into it and so forth. And you know, we definitely saw some really good stuff coming out of Blender here and there. If it's from a very small, you know, localized kind of independent route, you can do it. But once you start throwing that stuff in pipelines, things get really crazy, really fast. So the first thing we're going to do is insult everybody at ILM again, and we're going to go and do a Nuke presentation. So I'm going to jump over to that, and actually we could start with this. Actually, it's funny how it's switched over to that. That's weird. So I am going to take a look here, and let's see if I can jump over to this. Okay, so what we got here is a, kind of move this over here. And what we got here, and you know what, I'm going to, hold on a second, I'm going to try to bring in the chat room here. So can I copy this? Bring this into the Nuke presentation. See if I can paste it in. Paste reference, maybe? Did that do it? I didn't do crap. Hold on a second. Yes. What? This OBS is really annoying. Okay. Paste duplicate? How weird is that? Ain't doing nothing now. Okay. Hold on a second, gang. We're gonna do video. I want to get your chats in here so we can actually see you guys chit-chatting. And I want to, oops, hold on. Hold on a second. Video capture device. Window capture, is that it? Yeah. Alright. And I want to choose, why can't I? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll get you guys, get your chat in here so we can see people talking. Because I know everybody wants to see everybody talking here. There we go. Oop. Hold on a second, guys. Give me a second here. See if I can, maybe let's put it up here or something. There we go. All right, can everybody see the chat? All right, cool. We got the chat moving here. Yeah, all right. See if I can kind of get this going. What's it say? Hey, man, just tune it in. What's the topic for the stream? The topic is what is the topic, Jack?
No, we've gone through the corridor stuff. Now we're into a commercial. The interesting part with this is there was an AI actor in here, so it's some of the stuff Matt wrestled with while making this commercial.
Yeah.
So, and a little bit of issues with the upcoming indie show, Indiana Jones.
Anchor asks, what's your thoughts on becoming a VFX artist right now as newbie? I mean, I am thinking of going full time. By the way, I know nothing about VFX. Is VFX after I graduate? In VFX after I graduate this year. Where are you located, Anchor? And it's not a good idea to even proclaim I'm going full time before you even done anything in VFX because you might hate it. So, I don't know what else to say about that, you know. So anyway, let's go over, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a commercial we did. I'm not going to have the sound for it, but this is for, you could look this up online. This is for, we did this in about a week and a half, believe it or not. It was a pretty insane week. It was for a production company in Chicago, very reputable production company. They had a very heavy deadline. We had to basically get this thing out the door. And it was a lot of hard work, and it was absolutely just a blast to do. So what's really cool about this commercial is that it involved artificial intelligence in the form of, well, it's not, we always say AI, but it's really machine learning, diffusion filters, but it's from an artist that did the work on the characters, was using a really interesting stable diffusion method to take the actor that was set on set, clean plate him out, and put an AI character over him. And then we were able, it was a little Wild Wild West because we had to CG certain parts where the AI was getting crazy. Like you'll see in this sequence, the character actually had a spatula in his hand, but the AI was turning the spatula into a microphone. They were also showcasing the can, which is the actual can itself, the drink, which was Waterloo. But the can was turning into a Campbell soup can. It was turning into a Coca-Cola can. So we had to take out that can and put in the specific flavor correlating to the character. So here we go. So it's basically a guy, average day, sucks, and then you can see the color of the drinks correspond to. They had like 6 flavors or something. So Evan did this shot right here, and this is Evan, and this is me, fully me up until right about here. That's me. The final is Evan. So we're going to go to show you. So Evan did a great job. It was very tricky with the different layers and so forth and getting it to kind of match and so forth. But yeah, it was really a fun time. We also worked with there's other artists that worked on this as well. And it's just a lot of experimentation. We actually worked with a couple people that had worked at the mill on this, which was fun. So we had particle guys working in different programs. Some were Houdini, and some, believe it or not, were Blender, surprisingly. But anyway, no ACES. I did some normal compositing stuff and 3D animation in Blender. Sergio says no ACES. We didn't have ACES on this. This was such a quick commercial, but it was a lot of fun. But you can see the flavors in their hands. We'll go ahead and just show you these little transitions we did. But all of this was basically in AI. I mean, obviously you guys have seen this stuff in the free programs and so forth, but this was a specific AI artist that we had brought on. And literally all these concepts of artistry and these kind of strobing effects were given to us, and we had to match it absolutely perfectly. Like it was absolutely perfectly decided. Now, if you guys remember, I have that rim light tool. I made a video about the rim light tool in the Nuke Survival Toolkit. It actually came in handy here because you can see the smoke, the fire on the left and right was not emitting light on these 2D characters. So with that rim light, I was able to create a very subtle, like orange kind of color as the fireballs go up. And we were pretty much just told like, hey, you can see this was a CG spatula we had to put back in, and then the can itself was also CG because the can was going crazy, the spatula was going crazy. So every time you see this can, it had to be re-put in. And a lot of the AI was slightly mucky in the way that it was interpreted, so it was hard to kind of like mat it in there correctly, and also show the can off as brightly and clearly as you possibly could. So this had to be a hand-animated spatula in here, which was a bit crazy, motion blur and all that. I believe Evan was having issues with we were having issues with artifacts on the front of this tired thing here, and we had to like paint it out, whatever. But in general, it was a lot. It was really fun to do all this. Again, we had like barely a week and a half to get all this done. And again, we had some simulations from Blender and Houdini as far as these smoke simulations. These lights I got up here were actually done inside of a scanline render base for the optical effects, optical flares from the folks over at, I forgot the name of the company, Video Copilot. So I got a chance to kind of play with that, interact with the scene. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Let's see if anybody put any comments in the section here. Nobody else. Just how many people get streaming here? We got a whole 4 people. Wow. It is Friday night. Only losers stay up late on Friday.
Well, these guys get to see some interesting things.
Yeah, there you go. You can watch it later. So, any questions about the commercial or anything? You can find it online all over. We have friends of ours where were telling us like, "Oh, I'm seeing it on my Instagram. I'm seeing it on." They actually did 3 different cuts at different aspect ratios, and they're kind of flooding the setup. Do you think color management is worth all the headache in terms of no matter what it's done? Someone out there would get to see the right colors, etc. I mean, like I said, we once in a while work on ACES projects, but most of it's just regular new color space. But yeah. But anyway, this was interesting because I had to port this sort of streaky vector-based thing going on. I created into here, into the character to kind of have him transition out of the colorful world. And again, the concept is just generally like it's not watered down. The flavors are not watered down, so. It's basically a world of color and flavor, basically, and there's no compromise. And they wanted to give a kind of image of sophistication of, I don't know, because people who drink this are smart, I guess. How was match moving handled in the commercial? We actually had motion control cameras on set, so this commercial was actually a lot longer, but it was. They had to shorten it down. So we had other sequences in here that were like pirate ship guy or something. and it went longer. So it kind of feels like it jumps around a lot because there was actually other footage in the middle, and we cut it down from a 60-second spot to a 30-second spot. So, but it was really a blast, actually. The team was great. Everybody at the production company were great. We had just such a blast during that time. For me and Evan, we did research by buying all of the different flavors of Waterloo. So we're chugging this spring water down as we're like working long hours on it. It was a blast. It was absolutely a blast. And again, Evan did a great job, and it was great to see just everybody work together and kind of, it was really good to get into more artistic stuff, even though we have been doing some pretty high-end stuff where we're working currently. But this is just one of those little side projects that we got to get into, which was great. We got to kind of take time off and go work at another VFX house. So, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry to bore you guys to daylights on it, but fun stuff. Commercials are a lot of fun, but I think I wanted to talk a little bit about Grad Magic. I think everybody knows Grad Magic. We really don't appreciate how much Grad Magic has done for everybody, and I think that, of course, special props always goes to Tony Lyons. If you start to see these TLs and all these tools in the Nuke Survival Toolkit, and you realize, wow, like where would we be without these tools? Where would we be without these things? I mean, it's pretty crazy. So I think what I wanted to demo here, I forgot what I did here. I don't know what. Oh, I think I remember now. Let's see if I can put this to it. So Grad Magic, if you guys aren't familiar with it, let's see here. Okay, so Grad Magic is like, I don't know what I did here, whatever. So I start with a color wheel, right? And here I just started rotating the color wheel, as you can see, to use 3D equalizer. We didn't do the match move for this. We were actually working with another VFX house through our VFX house. It was interesting. They were doing all of the match move. They outsourced the cleanup and so forth as far as the guy is concerned. I'm not sure what they tracked with, to be quite honest. So anyway, Grad Magic, if you're not familiar with it, it allows you to sort of put 4 points to create a gradation. This is good if you have information that's above 1, value of 1, like a blown out spot on your footage. And you can see here that I've created a mask so that the image in here actually kind of cuts it out. But the beauty of Grad Magic, again, like I said before, is the fact that you can put this anywhere and it's sampling that specific color and creating a gradient between it. And then, of course, you can come in here and blur this. Okay. So I want to show just an application of this in a TV show that I worked on for, what was this show, Jack? The Patient. What show was this?
What I think that was, The Patient, wasn't that Peacock?
I think it was Peacock, but this is in my reel, basically. But basically, I just removed the light. Right, so it's just like, this is just a clip from my current reel that I created a while back. So you can see how we removed it. And the tricky thing is trying to like, that's a very bright area there, and kind of cloning this is a bit of a headache, okay? So, you can come in here, I could even do a demo here really quick if I want, is the fact that you can actually take corner pins that you've established, right? And you can come into the Grad Magic and you can link the corner pin to those points. So if I just created a corner pin here through planar tracking, right, you can actually come in here, and if you click on this link corner pin, okay, you have to select the actual corner pin itself, and you say linked. It's linked to that corner pin now, so now you can see that it's linked. And then anytime you want to lock down the color, you can come in and say bake current frame. So now the color has been locked in, and it just stays that to what it sampled originally. Get into the Grad Magic tool. I won't go into it all. You can go to Tony Lyons' website and check it out. But like, for instance, if you kind of started with this shot, and I'll just go to the frame where the thing is still there, right? And if I just throw in a Grad Magic, let's see, Grad Magic. Yeah, I like to show application, Oh, the black matching on strobe scenes. Oh, for blacks matching on... Yeah, you can actually do blacks match for strobe scenes. There's so much you can do with this. And I'm not even barely going to scratch the surface on this thing. But you can see how I can come in here and, like, if I wanted to replace this light, right, I could come over here and choose something that I know is like I know this point's here. I know this point is like right here. I know this point. And this is you have to make a whole bunch of these. You can't just like, oh yeah, so I'm going to try to grab. I'm just putting these at positions where I'm sampling a specific color, right? And then I come in here and I lock it. So I'll just say make live. And obviously you want to have this tracked in too. We're just doing a still image of this, but you can start doing this, right? And then you can come in here with the edge blur and you blur it. And then you can see that we have how we can kind of start fiddling with this. This blur's a little too heavy, obviously. So you just do a little bit of it. But you can see how you can start to reconstruct these, right? And you can also use a mask right here if you prefer to really feather in this. So again, we can come in here and... feather this out like this or something, So if we find that transition is occurring too much, you can come in here and play with this, play with the feather fall off, So, and then you just continue to do the same thing for this one. You add another grad magic, you sample it, and you can get rid of that. So, cool stuff. And then finally we have Roto Paint. So here's Roto Paint that I did. I just want to show the AP Looper. So I think I screwed this up. So AP Looper allows you to loop something. You can do like 15 times. You can see it's just looping, so you can create some cool stuff going on there. Frame hold special is kind of cool. I have frames 10 to 30 on this frozen. So you can see if I go in here, frames 10 to 30 are frozen. These are all in the Nuke Survival Toolkit, by the way. So 10 to 30 frozen, and then it resumes to that frame. So it stays at this frame, and then whatever frame 30 is, it continues on. Okay. You can also do continue plate after frame hold, which means that when it gets to frame 30, it offsets it and keeps going. See that? So you can kind of do like a freeze frame and then keep going with that. And you can see I've chosen frame 10 to be the start or whatever. And you can choose, again, range or always and so forth. And that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. I'm going to show some other time-based tools later with that. So Simon says, wow, cool. Yeah. So let me switch over. We're going to do something to tick off the ILM people, like we said. We don't mean to. We're just having fun. In celebration of the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I admittedly will go see it. I am a sucker for Indiana Jones, and all of their nostalgia suckered me in any way. What else we got to watch, really? What else do we have to watch, Jack? I mean, we got nothing. Barbie? I'm not going to go see Barbie. Yeah, it's Indiana Jones. I'm sure there'll be great visual effects. I'm looking forward to...
Probably
Harrison Ford's last hurrah. You notice we were saying how... Do you notice when they try to plug the nostalgia to get you out of theater, they just happen to, at the same time the movie comes out, they do these whole celebration and awards ceremonies for these actors. So there was this awards ceremony recently given for like a Lifetime Achievement Award for Harrison Ford, coincidentally happening exactly the time that this movie comes out. And that's like, to me, that's like kind of doing a, have respect for him and go see the movie, wink, wink, So, I mean, it's kind of like, what the heck? So, yeah.
It was at Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival in France.
Yeah, it was at the Cannes Film Festival. They apparently didn't like it, I guess. I don't know. Well, I was shocked to hear that, we were talking about PC, politically, all these PC shows that just constantly, they got an agenda as opposed to trying to entertain you. That the show Willow actually was pulled off of Disney's. It was so bad. Disney pulled it off of the Disney Plus, or as they call it, D Plus channel or whatever. So pretty wild. Anyway, actually, we have a show coming out on Disney that we worked on. That's coming out soon, called American Born Chinese. The trailers are out. So that was a lot of fun working on that. And again, I'm go see it. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, so with that said, we got one more presentation in Nuke to tick off ILM, and we're going to try to fix a scene from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So let me switch that over to... I think this is it. I can't seem to get it on there. Hold on a second, folks. I'm trying to figure this out. All right, there we go. All right, now let's see if it works. I guess it has to be physically up. So we'll. Oh, here we go. Indie fix. Okay. Bada boom. Here we are. Okay, so one thing we noticed about all these deep fakes and so forth with Indiana Jones is this is the clip from Indiana, the trailer for. And I used to do this in school. We used to take Star Wars Episode 7. We would actually fix the trailers. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we did do this. Let me see if we got any comments coming in here. Wow, cool. Okay, everybody fall asleep. Let's see. We have 3 watching. Wow, this has turned into a real.
It's Friday before Memorial Day.
That's true. Okay. So anyway, we thought this shot was interesting because it kind of shows. Oh, did I just do a JPEG? If you watch the trailer for this scene, it looks at like the lighting on Indiana was composited in as opposed to an actual light, right? So they were just like, okay, put a mask in there, brighten his face as he comes into the light and so forth. So we were saying, like, because when you get older, your head, I believe, gets fatter, and your nose gets bigger, your ears get longer. It looks like they're deep faking the old version of Indiana Jones, and they're still not covering his face up enough, so they had to like increase his head to like maybe like 0.1%. So what we decided to do, so again, we kind of did. It's like it's that's a little exaggeration, but what we decided to do, we were kind of thinking like, we don't want to make him look like the guy from Beetlejuice, as far as his head shrinking down. Oh, here it is. Here's the clip. Sorry, thought I had it. So here's some of the deep fake stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. And one thing we noticed, like in this shot right here, like his skin's very porous. His face is not getting blown out by any lights. You can see there's a pretty bright light coming from this source, but yet it's so muted here. You guys see that? That's pretty, like, especially right there, all the pores you can see. And I figured, like, I did stuff like I kind of like added a grade in there, and we were kind of like just putting a like if I just come in here just quickly, do an ellipse or something, right? Grab that, but we'll just blur it like this, and then we'll grade, gain it up a little bit, Just blur the daylights out of it. So to see how that looks, kind of proper exposure, that actually looks a little bit better, because it kind of has that photographic blown out look type thing.
Before Matt put that on, it has a very flat look. There isn't any real like specular highlights or pores. It's just kind of a flat, almost like a diffuse pass. It's just not quite realistic. He's not sweating at all.
Yeah.
There's any moisture in the skin. It's kind of
that's
shallow.
true. It's very soft too.
Yeah.
It's a general, like someone put a blur on it or something. Anyway, that's what we saw on that one. So, but here's the shot that kind of really shows that this was all of the lighting changes were done by masks inside of like Nuke or something, especially right there. I mean, it's so subtle, but you guys can just tell somebody was in there keyframing a grade note or something. You know what I mean? What do you think, Jack?
I think you hit it. I mean, it still just doesn't look like. He's also, if you look at the eyes don't quite have a living sparkle. It looks like early human 3D renders. like maybe the Final Fantasy movie. Going back far enough.
His head looks huge, and it looks wide angle. Like it's wide angle here, and this is like looks like a 50 millimeter. His face looks like a 35. Or you guys see that? Like, oh my gosh. So what we did was we tried to fix it. So we took his head. What did we do? I don't remember. Okay, so we did a roto paint. It is something. We took this. We grid warped his face. We grid warped his face to try to emulate a more flatter lens, and he had a more boxy head back when he was young. Now his face is more rounded, fat, I guess. But we try to like get that look going, obviously, to kind of make it look a lot flatter. And then we transformed it. He does look a little demented there, but I mean, if you kind of take a look at the difference, like fat wide angle head or shrinkage, and we believe that maybe the reason that this happened. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, dude, we were on the wrong page the whole time. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe you know what? I was hitting buttons and it went back and forth. My fault. So I think we're good because I'm hitting hotkeys. Oh, I see what's going on. Oh, this sucks. I have hotkeys on here set to 1, 2, 3, and we're changing inputs, dude. We've been oh, this is what a freaking nightmare. Okay, so anyway, that was stupid. Maybe I should disable hotkeys here. Can I do that? Anyway, but long story short, you can kind of see what we did on his face here. He's got like, it looks a little too shrunk. It's starting to look like,
We had to work the neck a little bit too.
looking like that. But yeah, anyway, that's not all time, few seconds, not all time, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I figured, because I can see it over here kind of flickering. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess we can jump over to Chit Chat. We still got Cooking and Comping coming. Steak and eggs, get ready. We're still, I ordered an iPhone clamp. Somebody stole it outside my apartment, so we'll have to order another one. People keep stealing stuff outside my apartment because it's kind of like on a main fairway or whatever. So anyway, yeah. So with that said, I think we're gonna get back to work. If you haven't heard the Slack notifications, we're still working here. Burn the midnight oil. But go ahead, Jack.
Get it in before the holiday weekend.
Yeah. Everyone wants to.
They're still working, so are we.
Yep. Yes. So, again, thanks everybody for hanging out. And there's only 2 of you or something. How many are there? 3. All right. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys later.